Hi everyone, we are from IPMI EMBA September class 2021. Today we want to present initial public offering Mitratel by Telkom Indonesia. As a part, final group assignment corporate finance class lecture by Professor Resemble. And we are from Value Investor. Our member are Doan, Reni, Maria, Liani, Meli, Dadan, and me, Evita. The telecommunication business growth very good. The industrial structure toward digitalization marked by increasing contribution of the information and telecommunication sector. Indonesia became the highest gross merchandise value digital economic in Asia. E-commerce dominate Indonesia GMV in 2021. Smartphone penetration in Indonesia increased from 44.4% to 77.6%. And we also look in global economic condition when the peak recession in 2020, minus 4.9%, and national economic Indonesia minus 2.07%, meanwhile telecommunication growth 21%. And government also support the telecommunication industry with Undang-Undang Nomor 11 tentang Cipta Kerja. The advantage sharing telco infrastructure are minimum number of telecom tower, BTS, and fiber optic, and more efficient investment and make more affordable price to user. Telco tower business in Indonesia still very profitable than another country. We can look in this table. In Indonesia, margin is very high, 70 until 80%. The capital expenditure low, 36 until 65. And then ROIC with one tenant, 11%. ROIC with two tenant, 25%. ROIC with three tenants, 38%.
Mitratel at a glance. PT Daya Mitra Telekomunikasi, or known as Mitratel, is subsidiaries of PT Telkom Indonesia, which operates to provide telecommunication infrastructure. Mitratel has been working on providing and managing telecommunication towers since 2008. Currently, Mitratel has managed more than 28,000 telecommunication towers spread throughout Indonesia. Every cellular operator in Indonesia have become tenants by placing their BTS devices in Mitratel towers. Mitratel has two main portfolios, tower leasing and other tower-related business. For tower leasing, they have business macro tower, micro tower, colocation, and reseller. Meanwhile, for tower-related business, they have business digital service, managed service, and project solution. PT Daya Mitra Telekomunikasi has been IPO since November 2021. This is Mitratel company milestone. The company itself is established in 1995. On 2008, they become the main guard in Telkom's business telecommunication tower sector. On 2012, their position in the top 3 for telecommunication tower provider business in Indonesia. On 2018, they have rebranding and becoming second biggest tower provider in Indonesia. On 2020, they acquired 6,000 Telkomsel tower in a project reunion. And finally, becoming number 1 microcell tower provider with 1,000 smart poles on 2021. Therefore, Mitratel has been growth and have great performance since established until 2021. Next slide will be represented by Reni.
Let's look more deeper into Mitratel business field. Tower leasing as the main business of Mitratel is a rental service for telecommunication tower infrastructure by building new site or offering existing towers belonging to Mitratel. There are 4 towers rental business model at Mitratels: macro tower, micro towers, colocation, and reseller. Macro tower is offering the service by building new macro site, mostly more than 30 meters, where location and specification based on the customer requirement. Meanwhile, micro tower is a service offering building tower less than 30 meters for in-building system, IBS, for indoor solution, and BTS hotel as outdoor solution. Co-location is a tower rental service by offering existing Mitratel tower to be utilized by second and third tenant. Reseller is a tower rental service by offering third-party towers. Mitratel segmentation are multinational organization, government, and enterprise, and the target are an operator and non-telecommunication operator business entity. Positioning of Mitratel for micro or micro towers are solution for expanding coverage and capacity. For co-location is a quick solution for the competitive cost. Meanwhile, the reseller is a quick solution for leveraging third party. Besides the main business, Mitratel also have some extended business, such as project solution, which is tower-related service that offer one-stop service solution, including fiber optic solution, mobile solution, etc. They have also managed service, which is a tower-related service that manage active and passive E2E, both telco infrastructure as well as non-telco infrastructure. Other than that, Mitratel has digital service which provide portfolio that uses technology as an advantage to help customer needed for both internal and external operation. Mitratel coverage has already spread to all over Indonesia. Looking at the numbers, Java Island has 11,963 towers and outside Java Island, 16,067 towers. Mitratel's tenancy ratio Java Island is 1.6 times and still have 4 additional capacity. Meanwhile, outside Java, the tenancy ratio 1.39 times that still have the advantage to gain from organic growth. From half one 2021, the biggest revenue contribution is 54% coming from Telkomsel. As a benefit, Mitratel tower characteristic having the average height 50 meters and having 80% macro tower with bigger capacity loading. Also 94% ready for additional tenant. And tower average age around 8 years. So now we will continue with my friend Dadan to explain about people behind Mitratel.
Thank you, Reni. Now I will explain about the people behind the Mitratel. The first, Herlan Wijanarko, Indonesian citizen, 56 years old. He has been served as President Commissioner of Mitratel since 10 August 2020 based on deed number 1, date 10 August 2020. Previously, he served as President Director of Mitratel, period 2018 until 2020, complete his Master of Management STMB 2004. Currently, he also serves as Director of Network and IT Solution at PT Telkom Indonesia. Also, Bimo Arianto as a commissioner, Indonesian citizen at age 47. He served as commissioner of Mitratel from March 16, 2020 to January 21, 2021, based on deed number 10, date 16 March 2020. Complete his Master of Management Education at Brawijaya University, Malang 2003. He currently serves as President Director of PT Sigma Cipta Caraka. And then Muhammad Ridwan Rizky Ramadhani Nasution as a commissioner also, Indonesian citizen age 38. He has served as commissioner of Mitratel since 10 August 2020 based on deed number 01, date 10 August 2020, complete his Master of International Finance, London Metropolitan University, 2009. He currently serves as Commissioner of PT Mayoris Asset Management. And the last, Henry Yosodiningrat, Indonesian citizen, age 66. He has served as Commissioner of Mitratel since 10 August 2020 based on deed number 01, date 10 August 2020, complete his Doctor of Law education at Trisakti University 2019. He has also served as an advocate since 1978. Now the director, Mitratel have Theodorus Ardi Hartoko as a president director. Indonesian citizen, age 48, he has served as president director since 1 September 2020 based on deed number 1, date September 2020. Previously, he served as director of operation and IT Mitratel 2017 until 2020. And then Ian Sigit Kurniawan, Director of Finance, Indonesian citizen, age 46. He has served as Director of Mitratel since 29 July 2019 based on deed number 10, date 20 August 2019. Previously, he served as Finance Director at PT Telkom Access 2015 until 2019. And then the Pratigno Arif Budiman as the Operation and Development Director, Indonesian citizen, age 53. He has been a Director Mitratel since November 2020. Previously, he served as VP Network Infrastructure and Security Operation at PT Telekomunikasi Selular 2016 until 2017. Nurhayati Chandra Suci as a Business Director, Indonesian citizen, age 47. She has been a Director of Mitratel since December 2020. Previously, she served as VP Business Partner Telin Singapore 2018 until 2019 and Strategic Advisor President Director of Telkomsel 2019. And look at, we can see the Mitratel strategic response. We know the telecommunication grew very fast. The first 2G, 3G, 4G, and now 5G. So that the need for infrastructure development is very fast, especially areas that have not been reached by signal. We can see the Mitratel have the strategic intention for the 5-year horizon. The 2020, the minister is SOA, K, BUMN Vision. And the current state, this is the firming fundamental, focus on improving fundamental, get the basic right in the governance and operation. And 2022, this is investing for the future. Invest intensively for the future, strengthen competency in the next gen connectivity and the platform business. And the next step is 2023, harvesting investment, reward from the investment, focus on monetization and return from investment. And then 2025, this is the national digital platform. So the Mitratel was able to seize the growth opportunity, which allowed the company to record good performance. So the next presentation will by Bu Meli. Thank you.
Thanks, Dadan. Now we talk about operational review of Mitratel. Mitratel maintained a good operational performance despite face a year full of uncertainty due to outbreak of the pandemic. So many continuous improvement that have been done by Mitratel. They have created many programs such as application development program. They design system, developing, testing based on scenario, migration, deployment, so that application can support user need. In the quality assurance program, they create IT tools to support user to do site visit to make sure process and evidence valid. In the business process compliance program, they do audit process system and documented the result to make sure the result process implemented. In the program, IT tools and infrastructure, they create software production server upgrade network to support IT and monitoring IT tools and the infrastructure. How about operational performance and collocation ratio of Mitratel? In the last 3 years, since 2018, 2019, until 2020, Mitratel has significant growth year-over-year. Total power macro and micro has grown 16.24%. Total tenant macro and micro has grown 33.76% tenant. Total tenant including reseller has grown 16.78% tenant. Tenancy ratio has also increased 15.7% times, and it impact customer satisfaction index 1.13%. Now, my friend Liani will talk about financial ratio analysis of Mitratel.
Thanks, Melly, for your explanation. Now we want to talk about the financial ratio analysis Mitratel versus the other industry. At this point, we take the two others company that the same industry is Tower Bersama, is TBIG, and Sarana Menara Nusantara is TOWR. So we will compare the three company, MTEL, TOWR, and TBIG for the financial ratio analysis. First one, we want talking about the revenue. From 2018 until 2020, and the latest 2021, TBIG has the revenue, the most highest revenue growth, highest about CAGR 11.23%, with the growth revenue is 11.54%. While in the net profit, if we can see, MTEL has the most highest increase profit and the growth, CAGR about 27.57%, and the net profit increased about 55.04%. Talking about the gross profit margin, yes, the gross GPM from TBIG has the most highest, about 75.45%, while the net profit margin TOWR is the most highest, about 42.54%. Next. Talking about the return on equity, if you can see, ROA for TOWR is the most highest, about 39.95%. And about the asset, we can see the asset between 2018 until 2021. We see the increase MTEL has the highest CAGR, about 35.2%, with the growth about 27.57%. Liability, MTEL liability is high. But the increase the liability TBIG is most high, the most lowest, about CAGR 8.65%. While the increased liability TOWR also the highest one, about minus 0.0%. Equity, you can see the MTEL equity is increased, the highest increase about CAGR about 68%. while this is showing the growth MTEL the most highest, about 67.3%. Next, we're talking about the debt, DER, debt equity ratio. As you can see, the therefore MTEL is the lowest one, about 1.36 compared to the other company. Cash flow, we're talking now about the cash flow. We have cash flow from operation, cash flow from investment, and cash flow from financing. CFO for the three emittents is positive, which is it is good. That is meaning having more income more than the expense. And for the CFI, cash flow from investment, the three emittents has also good because it is the negative value. Cash flow for financing, we can see CFF from TBIG and TOWR is the negative one, while the MTEL is the positive. This is meaning that the other two is pay the debt, but the MTEL is create a new debt. Last one, we're talking about the financial ratio analysis. It's about the price to book value and price to earning ratio. Average, the price book value in 2021 is 6. Now, but we can see the price book value MTEL is 4.85. It's meaning the valuation MTEL is lower than average. It is good. The MTEL price book value is good. Also, we're talking about the price to earning ratio. The average pair in 2021 is 46.26. But MTEL is higher than that. MTEL has about 71.05. It means that MTEL has a good value, a good pair compared the TOWR. It is the lowest from the average. It's about 17.51. Okay, this is the financial ratio analysis. Now we come back to Mary about talking about the Mitratel structure. That's Mary, it's your time now. Thank you.
Thanks, Liani. Now, we talk about Mitratel structure before and after IPO. Before IPO, the number of shares paid up and subscribed capital consists of Telkom shares for 99.99% shares, PT Metra Digital Investama for 0.01% shares. After IPO, Mitratel's capital structure and shareholder become Telkom share 70.15%, Metra Digital Investama 0%, Mitratel offering 29.82% for public investor. Mitratel also allocate 0.03% for employee stock allocation. Mitratel held IPO as a part of effort to develop business to create value that optimal for the company and stakeholder and to create a telecommunication ecosystem for digitization to remote of the country. Now my friend Doan will share about after IPO review.
Thank you, Melly. Now I want to talk about indicative offering structure of Mitratel. Initial offering of Mitratel start on October 26 till November 4, 2021. OJK's effective statement on November 12, 2021. Offering period November 16 till 18, 2021. Allotment on November 18, 2021. In the same day, Mitratel will do distribution and payment to the issuer. And on November 19, 2021, they will distribute the share via electronic. Finally, Mitratel will listing on IDX on November 22, 2021. Mandiri Sekuritas and BRI dan Reksa Sekuritas will be the underwriter of this IPO. After a few weeks IPO, we can see in the top history and performance of Mitratel share. From Snowflake's analysis, we can see the reasonable growth potential with questionable track record. Earning forecast grew 25.21% per year. Earning grew 109.9% over past year, but have high level of non-cash earning and debt. Based on all the data, we can see that the share price of Mitratel still undervalued. Thank you. I hope you enjoy our video. Bye.